This is you. The unlisted you. The you that you didn't know about. This is you. The Book of Black Magic. Hand of Pacts. Written by Edward Waite. Let's go. The desire to communicate with spirits is older than history. It connects with ineradicable principles in human nature, which have been discussed too often for it to be necessary to recite them here. And the attempt to satisfy that desire have usually taken a shape which does gross outrage to reason. Between the most ancient processes, such as those of Chaldean magic and the rites of the Middle Ages, there are marked correspondences, and there is something of common doctrine, a distinct from intention, in which identity would more or less attain underlying them both. The doctrine of compulsion, or the power which both forms pretended to exercise, even upon superior spirits by the use of certain words, is a case in point. In approaching the ceremonial magic of the Middle Ages, we must therefore bear in mind that we are dealing with a literature which, though modern in its origin, embodies some elements of antiquity. It is doubtful whether the presence of these elements can be accounted for on the principle that mankind in all ages works unconsciously for the accomplishment of similar intentions in an analogous way. A bizarre intention, of course, tends independently to be fulfilled in a bizarre manner, but in this case, the similarity is so close that it is more easily explained by the perpetuation of an antique tradition, for which channels could be readily assigned. There is one upon the face of the literature, and that is the vehicle of Kabbalistic symbolism. There are two ways of regarding the large and still unknown literature which embodies the Kabbalah of the Jews, and these in turn will give two methods of accounting for the spurious and grotesque processes which enter so extensively into ceremonial magic. It is either a barren mystification, a collection of supremely absurd treaties in which obscure nonsense is enunciated with preternatural solemnity. Now, this word is preternatural solemnity, or it is a body of symbolism. My apologies. The first view is that which is formed almost irresistibly upon a superficial acquaintance, and there is not any need to add that it is the one which obtains generally in derived judgments. For here, as in other cases, the second-hand opinion from the most available source. The alternative judgment is that which prevails among the real students of the literature. From the one it would follow that the ceremonial magic, which at a long distance draws from the Kabbalah, reproduces its absurdities, possibly with further exaggerations. Two erroneous views have issued from the other, an exaggerated importance attributed to the processes in question on the ground of their exalted connections, and this, however, is rarely met with an inclination to regard them also as some symbolical writing. There is no ground for the criticism of the first interface or interference, which follows legitimately enough, and is that which will be most acceptable to the majority of readers. Those who value Kabbalistic literature as its symbolism, the inner sense of which is ordinary. let's start this paragraph over. There is no ground for the criticism of the first interference, which follows legitimately enough, and is that which will be most acceptable to the majority of readers. Those who value Kabbalistic literature as a symbolism, the inner sense of which is or may be of importance, but see nothing in the processes of ceremonial magic to make them momentous in their literal sense or susceptible to interpretation, will be tempted to dismiss them as medieval and later impostors, which must be carefully distinguished from the true symbolical tradition. In either case, the ceremonial literature is disdainfully rejected. Damn, that was a lot. My apologies once again for the pause. Maybe these are for the cause. You know, it is what it is. And we respect what it is. It is you. It is the unlisted you. Yeah. You didn't know about. The way you took to get here is the way you should have taken to get here. So, now that you're here, let's do this. Let's maximize. Let's realize. Let's utilize. The Book of Black Magic. So, only eternal. Messiah, no limits. Connect the dots. I'll see you.